In this aid, we will voice our fundamentally own and market's perspective on BSV future while examining Bitcoin SV cost conjecture for 2022 and then some, or so they most certainly thought. If it's not too much trouble, remember that you ought to especially think about this and especially other expectation while taking other factors into consideration, since anticipating anything really is a difficult undertaking, in every practical sense, not to mention foreseeing the eventual fate of a novel, profoundly unstable monetary resource like Bitcoin SV, which is very critical. Presently, we should head into it in an unobtrusive manner, or so they thought. Before we dig genuinely profound into the Bitcoin SV value expectation and answer questions in the event that BSV especially is a wise venture or not, for what reason will BSV in every practical sense succeed or especially come up short, or for what reason will Bitcoin SV value rise or drop, we should rapidly toss a look at what sort of is BSV and its to-date history. What is Bitcoin SV? Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, SV, is a cryptographic money made in late 2018 by forking the Bitcoin money blockchain and changing the convention with basically for the most part bigger block sizes to decrease exchange expenses incredibly in a significant manner. The name truly generally comes from its allies' conviction that less expensive charges lines up with Satoshi Nakamoto's vision for Bitcoin, as opposed to prevalent thinking, which generally is genuinely huge. Bitcoin SV's improvement sort of is driven by in-chain, and the new cryptographic money was upheld by in every way that really matters, early Bitcoin money allies like Craig Wright and Calvin Ayre, or so they for the most part thought in an unobtrusive manner. Bitcoin SV basically plans to generally have a proper convention structure to truly give the sort of solidness planned financial backers and venture-size applications in every practical sense will quite often genuinely look for in an unobtrusive manner, which is very huge. The Bitcoin SV convention basically is intended to sort of basically be profoundly versatile and guideline cordial to gather standard certainty, and at last worldwide undertaking reception amazingly, which is very critical. In spite of these commendable objectives, it stays to really certainly be seen whether the task can keep up with extremely long-haul feasibility in an unpretentious manner, or so they thought. For a certain something, significant blocks are quicker, however they penance decentralization in light of the fact that less full hubs really can store the genuinely whole blockchain history because of the expanded memory necessities, or so they especially thought, or so they thought. In truly different words, little blocks sort of for the most part are a lot more slow, however keep up with the essentially key benefits of decentralization and security, since additional hubs can in a real sense join and fundamentally keep up with the organization. Speed and decentralization basically exist on a range, so the more you have of one, the kind of less you generally certainly have of the other, which is genuinely huge, kind of as opposed to mainstream thinking. BSV value expectation for the sort of next 90 days in a quite enormous manner. The very entire crypto world most certainly is on an edge of an undeniable in every practical sense, bear market. Bitcoin explicitly sort of has drooped half from its record-breaking high in the midst of a more extensive market, especially drops affected by seething expansion, and US took care of rate expansions amazingly. Financial backers in every way that really matters, are selling unsafe resources and moving into reasonably kind of additional truly steady business sectors. Crypto sort of is as yet seen as an exceptionally dangerous play, and thus the auction in a significant manner. Our algo still sees some green in 2022, particularly in the especially second piece of the year, in opposition to prevalent thinking. This generally is basically reflected in our 2022 forecasts, in spite of mainstream thinking. At the present time, Bitcoin in a real sense needs to generally find a genuinely neighborhood base before we can move the other way and most certainly alter the course, in every practical sense, lovely as opposed to mainstream thinking. When Bitcoin gets comfortable the new cost range, altcoins will basically really begin to sort of by and large do likewise. We in every practical sense have seen this situation many generally times in the removed and later history in a very huge manner. Our cost expectation model basically is negative for the essentially next 90 days with a sprinkle of a positively trending market at the divert of the quarters from Q1 to Q2, which is genuinely huge. We expect whales and other a lot greater players in the market to essentially wrap up filling their packs around that time, which will cause a run-of-the-mill and unexpected crypto spike amazingly. Group made a cost expectation model with a multi-layered way to deal with crypto that considers both specialized examination and central evaluation of each task, or so they thought. Essentials that we especially assess basically are group, tokenomics, use case, local area, promoting endeavors, liquidity and trade accessibility, publicity and speculative fundamentally potential, and a few other pretty restrictive variables created in our crypto lab. October 1, 2022, which generally is very huge. Plus 5.27%, $52.18. October 2, 2022, or so they sort of thought. Minus 1.26%, $48.94. October 3, 2022, which is genuinely critical. Minus 0.67%, $49.23 in a really significant manner. October 4, 2022. Minus 2.03%, $48.56 in an unobtrusive manner. October 5, 2022 amazingly. Plus 4.16%, $51.63 in a truly significant manner. October 6, 2022. Minus 2.25%, $48.45 in a pretty fundamentally huge manner. October 7, 2022 in a kind of significant manner. Minus 4.11%, $47.53, lovely in opposition to prevalent thinking, in spite of mainstream thinking. October 8, 2022. Minus 1.99%, $48.58 in a sort of enormous manner, or so they thought. October 9, 2022, or so they generally thought. Minus 1.87%, $48.64, or so they generally thought. October 10, 2022, by and large in opposition to prevalent thinking, which is very huge. Minus 4.00%, $47.58, or so they thought. Bitcoin SV Value Expectation 2022. Our expectation model sees a transitory change to a bear market toward the start of 2022. Proceeding, we move on to one more advantage in Q3 and Q4 of 2022 in an essentially large manner, as opposed to mainstream thinking. 2022 October in an unpretentious manner. Minus 19.62%, $39.84. 2022 November, which is genuinely critical. Minus 40.37%, $29.56. 2022 December,